Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, creepy friends. Welcome to Slams and Bobs. It's only 4 days till Christmas. Are you excited? Most importantly, have you got the presents? I thought I had everything, and then I went and I looked downstairs and looked at what I got. My mum went, she needs one more present, and freaked out. So I just had to do a really big order for something and get her a little something and get myself something as well, because it's Christmas and why the hell not? I deserve a present. So far though, I have not received the Thunderbirds Monopoly game, which I really want. I'll get it. I will get it eventually. It will be one day on a review of TBAG or normal T-Birds. You will see me just hold up the board game and go, look, I've got it! This weekend's episode of Thunderbirds Argo was called Comet Chasers, and it was a lovely space expedition with Alan and Scott. So Halley's Comet is making an appearance. Alan's super excited because it's a space thing. I'd expect no different. So there's this English broadcaster with a French name. He's called Francois Lemaire. Fancy arse and kind of pretentious, but the guy is an arse, so the name kind of suits the face. He is tailing the comet, and he's literally in the comet's tail, which makes Scott jump up and go, "No, what are you doing, you idiot?" We're kind of all thinking the same thing. And thanks for agreeing with us, Scott. In they fly, him and Madeleine, into the comet and get hit and lose their streaming broadcast, and cue the titles. Guess who's going to get rescued today? So through Alan and Scott heading off in Thunderbird 3 to go and rescue Francois and Madeleine, we're learning more and more that Francois is a bit of an arsehole. He's not a nice man. He's kind of comes across as being quite self-obsessed and me, I, self, that kind of person. Typical kind of cliched celebrity. Actually, what I had on here, he reminded me of Gilderoy Lockhart from Harry Potter, if any of you have seen that. I'm hoping most of you have seen that, because we're all kind of geeks together. Scott takes a pod from Thunderbird 3. I did not know Thunderbird 3 had pods. And goes off to rescue Madeleine and Francois. He docks with them and he manages to get through to them, because so far, of course, where they've been hit, all their radio contact's been knocked out. He gets through and says, "I'm here to rescue you." He's more interested in something weird to eat. But then Scott and the other ship start to take knocks. Poor old Scott gets knocked out. Do you remember that little scene where he's hanging over Thunderbird 1 and in the original, and he cut his little head? It kind of had a little flashback of that for me. When Scott wakes up, he can't contact Francois anymore, but he can just get in contact with Alan. I think I would have liked to see Scott a bit more dazed in this for some reason, but again, comes back to that thing we talk about all the time. I love seeing Thunderbirds in danger, because I'm kind of weird like that. Scott makes his way to Francois and Madeleine, but of course Francois, being the absolute moron that he is more interested in recording to show people than he is in getting the hell out alive, because he's such an idiot. Eventually Scott makes him leave. Madeleine is just acting like the wife of just, oh, what an idiot. She's agreeing with all of us, basically. And they eventually all bounce with zero gravity across different space rocks to go and meet Alan in some place safer, so Thunderbird 3 doesn't die and end up badly damaged, whatever. And then they see their ship and the pod actually as well explode on Halley's Comet, and it's like, oh, that could have been us. Glad it wasn't. They meet with Alan, and Alan jumps down from Thunderbird 3 because he's literally got to see Halley's Comet, because he's an astronaut, and I love that. I love that they've put that in him, that they've put that excitement of space in him. It's about bloody time. And just when it's all okay, there's suddenly contact. Francois falls and Alan jumps down to save him. And then what do we see? What do we see, everybody? Besides the fact that Alan actually gets to rescue someone this time, but what do we see? Hoverboard! Hoverboard. I got so excited. I was watching it literally 11 o'clock at night last night in this bed, and I saw the hoverboard and was like, ah! Total link to that old series. Got excited over a hoverboard. I need a life, right? Alan saves, I wanted to call him Gilderoy Lockhart then, Francois on the hoverboard. He's flying kind of whilst holding on to Alan for dear life event at one point, but eventually he managed to get stable. Alan kind of dodges in and out of parts of asteroids or ice, if they're still in Halley's Comet. I wasn't quite sure at this point. And then they managed to get themselves back into Thunderbird 3. Alan comes up to drive and he says, Scott's kind of freaking out going, oh, we've got to get through all of these things without taking damage. And Alan just goes, I just sit back and do what I want. Of course, poor old Thunderbird 3 does take one hit. It knocks them down to 1 engine instead of 3. Consequently, it's going to be a 36-hour long journey back home. They don't seem to mind. Francois seems to mind, but I like his pain because he's an idiot. It was a good episode. It was, I think, the most important thing to take away from this episode is that we finally got to see Alan rescue in space. My initial frustration with this was that Scott went out in the pod and he's again doing what Alan should be doing. I don't like the fact that Scott is doing the rescuing. He does enough of that back on Earth. Space is Alan's job. Let Alan rescue in space, please. Please, I don't like seeing that, and that kind of frustrates me a lot. As you can clearly tell, for the love of God, can you just make Alan a full brother in series 2 when that's out next year? It's like watching 4.5 Men sometimes on there. I mean, even, I know it's something really silly. When Alan and Scott go down under the dock to be loaded into Thunderbird 3 when they launch, I noticed how short Alan's legs were in comparison to Scott. Now, I'm a short ass, I'm 5'2", so I expect my legs to look like that, but I don't like the fact that Alan is still that bit shorter. He's an astronaut, he's young, but yes, he's a fully fledged astronaut. Please just treat him like a full brother in the new series, please, or I might end up screaming at the TV. Camembert with quince paste. Was that way Madeleine delivered that line? It's like it was a dig or a sort of link to something. Can anyone expand, clarify? Please do. I'm sure it's a link to something somewhere along the line. Scott was allowing himself to be recorded by Francois when they were still in Francois' ship. I'm kind of just going to leave that as it is because we know that I have an issue with that. They're not supposed to be recorded. I guess it's hard in that day and age, isn't it? But Scott still should have just said no pictures, because I loved it when he used to say that. There are some great shots of set and CGI here with the asteroids and with Halley's Comet. I could really see different elements of it all being blended together, and as with every time, I think I praised this the last 4 or 5 consecutive weeks, but with the space, I thought I heard something weird then. It's a random little question I'm going to ask here, because it just kind of flashed through my mind. Did anybody else think Francois Lemaire looked like Captain Black? Or was it just me? Had I just been up for too long? I had a long weekend. There was so much that went on the weekend just gone, with trips to London and then festive meals with work. I think I'm just a little bit cracked, but I thought he looked like Captain Black. Do you agree? Overboard! It's a good episode. It still feels like a bit of a filler episode to me. And when was the last time we had everyone involved? Why haven't I got a John episode? I miss John. I don't feel like I've seen enough of John in the last few weeks. I'm like, need John back. I started to create a little bit of my own kind of script for Thunderbirds mentally. It's kind of dwelling away up here. And it involved basically John having a love interest, because I think if I was writing for me, and if I was kind of putting myself in a character's place, then kind of, I think I would probably be more inclined to look at John. I know he's a space character, but like, we would connect. If not Virgil, because I like the fact that he's a bloody daredevil, but you know, I think me and John would just be like that, you know, because we're just both loners in the world. I do wonder whether it'd be cool to have a distinct running storyline in Thunderbirds, because to a point, it kind of feels like just a load of random episodes smashed together. It's like Hawaii Five-O's felt like that for 2 seasons now, and I don't like Grover in Hawaii Five-O, but I'm sorry, I really don't like Lou Grover. Please don't judge me. I do not like the character. He is aggravating as hell. I do not like him. But then again, beyond the hood, Thunderbirds never really had a consistent kind of direction. So like in Buffy Series 7, for example, you knew that it was all going to culminate with the first evil. It was all leading to that. Everything they were doing, despite the fact that there were little subplots along the way, it was all leading to that. I don't know what this is leading to, and I think I expect it to be like that because that's how seasons and TV shows are these days. But then, beyond the hood and his villainness, Thunderbirds was never like that, so maybe I'm kind of thinking too far and being too new agey with my thoughts. We saw Ellen rescue someone for once, and I like that. That was the main point of this episode for me. Just let him do it again. Thank you for watching this and being here, everyone, and wasting your time with me. I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas. Do bear in mind, Boxing Day's Thunderbirds has Sylvia Anderson in it as Great Aunt Sylvia. Hopefully I'll get to record it, but I don't think I'm going to get to shoot it until about Tuesday, so please give me about a week to kind of get it out to you guys. I'm sorry for the delay. I was expected to be able to do it on Monday after Christmas, but as it turns out, there's going to be people in the house, so it might be a bit delayed. I hope everybody has a lovely, lovely Christmas. There is a special makeup video coming out on Christmas Day, and tweet me if you want. Follow me on Instagram. I will try and tweet throughout Christmas Day, excuse me, with various things. I don't have any drink left, so unfortunately, because I was kind of thirsty filming this, so I've kind of drunk it all the way, but I've got a drip. If not, cheers everyone, happy Christmas, and I'll see you again. Bye.